What's up, everyone? This is the Next Date podcast with Mikel, and
And Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So, this is a special episode. We're going to be talking about yesterday's or last night's election, 2025, with uh, candidate, the candidates. Um, so, what are we going to be like discussing about this year's election and what happened?
Um, so I guess we'll kind of talk about, each of the people that were involved in it. We'll kind of talk about some stuff that's happened throughout the election. And then we'll obviously talk about who won.
All right, okay. Let's get to it.
Okay.
So, so obviously, we know who won last night.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Carney.
Yep.
It was a minority win for the Liberals, and yeah, um, we saw Jeremy Singh resign, and
He resigned.
also, hmm?
He was, by the way, is Jack Meat Singh, by the way.
Yeah, Jeremy Singh
Yep.
resign. Um,
Yeah.
due to, yeah, that's sad because yeah, pretty good, policies and
Yeah,
plans
it's
for
it's it's sad, but I think when you're constantly losing, I guess, in which I mean, I don't think it's much of a surprise in terms of the NDP party not winning. I think a lot of people that I've spoken to about the NDP party just they aren't as happy with the NDP party since Jack Layton's passing and him not being, part of it. No one's kind of really stood up, I guess. Um, I think Jack Meat could have been great for the country. Um, but I mean, again, we've talked about it. It's similar to with the states as well. It's just like you have your two main parties, and it's always a fight between the two main parties. So,
yeah, it is like it was just the liberals and conservatives back and forth back. It was close towards the end.
mhm.
Um, Obviously the conservatives got a little more seats this time around, and yeah,
How many seats did they get this time around? Because the last time I kind of saw, I think they were at like 13. So where were they? How many seats did they get?
do my research on that.
Let's see if I.
Yeah, know that they got more than they did in 2021. Um,
Okay, let me see if I can find. Yeah, because the last thing I had, I don't know if it got updated. Let me see if I still have the website up. Okay, so Mark Carney's Liberal Party wins the Canadian election. A remarkable turnaround for the center-left party. In his victory speech, Carney tells supporters President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen. It remains too close to call whether he will secure majority in parliament. If not, he'll have to rely on other parties to govern. Defeated conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, until recently expected to become the next PM, is projected to lose his seat. The Liberal Party were well behind in the polls just 3 months ago before Carney replaced Justin Trudeau.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, they were liberal. The liberals were like,
oh yeah, the Liberals were screwed.
yeah, and then they all changed when Mark Carney came and
Yeah.
actually talked to the Canadians. So like basically, yeah, I think if Justin Trudeau was still in office right now, I don't think he would have won. I don't think he would have won at all. I think conservatives would have won this by a lot, to be honest with you. But I think it's a good thing that he kind of stepped down and got a replacement. And yeah, but do think, I do think, minority means something to Canada, and I'm not actually the majority because if it was the majority, then then it would have been more control for the liberals. But it's a minority, so like both parties would have to I would say team up. I would say is that a word?
The other thing too, since well, we know we haven't obviously talked much about the Green Party, but so just kind of as that stands, I mean, I don't know, man. In the
Uh,
election, the smaller
well,
political,
well,
sorry.
sorry about it. So not well. Going back to that, not team up, work together more. I would say, but go on.
Okay. Um, the yeah, so the Green Party or the smaller political parties have taken a hit as Canadians choose to park their votes with either the Liberals or the Conservatives, especially the left-wing Democrats or NDP. Um, by the Green Party have also seen their vote share cut in half from 2%, which is not a
Yep.
lot to begin with, to 1%. Jeez.
Also, also the PPC.
Yeah, but I feel like the PPC is a party that, I mean, I never heard of prior to this. They're a party that, we didn't even, who was the leader? I didn't see who the leader was. Barely saw who the Green Party leader was. So
I think
it's,
it's
uh,
Matt's Burnett.
yeah, but were they a part of any of the, because
No, they weren't. Same with the
that's the
Green Party.
thing.
They weren't part of any type of election.
Green Party was left out though. They were angry about that.
Yeah,
That was supposed to, I bet you that was not supposed to happen. That the Green Party wasn't a part of anything, um, or part of the debate. So the Green Party, though, at least as a party, even though like what do they really have to offer here?
mhm.
Or like no one's really voting for them. Um, at least they're a party we know and recognize for the most part. What the heck is PPC? I've never heard of them. They're not even a part of the ballot because I didn't even see them a part of at least when I was
They
voting.
were a
I
part
did
of
not.
yeah, they were part of a couple ballots. I would say.
Yeah, so as a person voting in Ajax, though, I'm just talking about Ajax here, they're not a part of my ballot. I didn't even see them as an option.
You didn't see the PPC or anything like that.
No,
I think I saw
no.
one on my ballot. I think I saw like
Maybe they have maybe there's a person in Pickering, but in
remember
Ajax, no, I didn't see.
you didn't see Lisa Robinson?
Lisa Robinson is PPC?
Yeah. You didn't see the posters? Just over the
Well, you gotta
grass?
remember too,
Yeah.
she's in Pickering.
Yes.
She's not in Ajax. So what
Oh
your
yeah.
posters are,
Yeah, my
I'm
poster.
not seeing those
To Brooklyn.
posters. My
Okay.
posters are different than your posters,
Oh, okay,
right?
right. I keep forgetting about that. Like we're Pickering and Ajax. I thought it was all connected into like Pickering to
No,
Oshawa. I thought
no,
okay.
no, no, no,
One okay. All right.
no. We're all different. We're all a part of the same municipality,
Mhm.
right? But we're not the same towns or cities. We're all different and we all have all our different people. So, first of all, there's no
Mhm.
way in hell I'm voting for Lisa Robinson.
Mhm.
Number two,
Mhm.
she's not a part of Ajax, so that wouldn't even be an option for me anyways. Um, and at the end of the day, like, I'm sorry, but if she's PPC and she's what's supposed to be like she's supposed to be a part of that party, I don't feel confident about PPC. So I think, yeah, no. No, thank you. But no, they were not a part. I had four people. That's it. NDP, conservative, liberal, green. That's it. I didn't say anything about PPC.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm trying to get at is it's like they're clearly not as broad of a party in the same way
Yeah.
as conservative,
Yeah.
liberal, and NDP, and even Green Party. So
Yeah.
I
It's
just, that's probably never, ever, ever gonna happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen because it's not happening. That's basically what I'm gonna get at. Um, so yeah, No. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm just personally happy that it's not conservative. I was really worried about that. Um, but based on how this turned out, yes, Mark Carney may be the kind of the unknown here, and he's new to being the leader of the Liberal Party, but I think, like my mom kinda said, he's the lesser of two evils. Um, and at least I feel confident. One second, guys, we lost Mikel. Okay, we got Mikel back. I don't know what you heard before you cut out there, but, I can't remember what I was saying either, but anyways, yeah, I think I was saying, with
But yeah,
with
the
this, it's the
TPC, yeah, it just yeah, it's been a walk in around Canada or talking about them in Canada that they have been like crazy since after the pandemic, like talking about like, COVID and the way that are and then they got that vote right after COVID, like during the 2021 election because of that. And then ever since then it's just been downhill for them. So yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've never personally, I've never heard of them until you mentioned them, like, last year. So I that just kinda goes to show for me, like, they weren't even on my radar at all. Still not even on my radar even now, but yeah, I don't know, it's not gonna happen. But, um, the other thing I was saying was that, I am happy at least that it's not conservative, that one. Um, you know, for me, it was more about, and I think it's kind of a lot of people, or at least majority of people, I'm sure there are people who all about it, but I think the majority of people were concerned about, what is gonna happen if Polyev is our PM and,
Yeah.
with his
I,
views on
mhm.
on Trump and everything right now.
Trump, women. Well, people are also talking about women's rights, but I don't think he's going to remove women's rights. I don't think the
Well,
conservatives
he
going
doesn't have
to.
now the power to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I know,
So,
I know, I
yeah,
know.
if he was in power, maybe that could have happened, which that again is kinda goes to show, like, you are kind of following in the footsteps of what is happening in the States, and we don't need that.
Yeah, but I don't think he was going to ever remove women's rights. But if there was like a new rights to come forward towards a conservative, I think
Mhm,
that would move a lot slower
mhm.
in the process. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't think he will ever.
Yes, but here's what obviously things move slow, right?
Yeah,
But here's what I'm gonna say, women's rights doesn't just mean rights to vote or rights to do whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Women's rights goes even deeper than that, which is what is happening in the States. Right to health care, for
Mm,
example, is a woman's right. And we're already, I feel like, not women's health is not always a priority. Like, for example, just kind of thinking of as the age that I am at right now currently, with having to do like pap tests and whatever. The fact that I am a woman who has to only do a pap test every 3 years is ridiculous. I feel like, back in the day, when I was first sexually active, it was every year. And then it slowly went from 1 to 2 years and then 2 years to three. And I don't understand why. Um, that's something that's happened. So that's just an example of like women's health is not always a priority. Um, so if you have a person in power who is pretty clear that he is a Trump supporter, um,
yeah,
and is supporting everything or most things that Trump has done, abortion is women's health,
yeah,
right? Abortion doesn't just mean aborting a child because you don't want it. sometimes an abortion needs to happen for the safety of a woman's health, right? So I'm going to break this down. Like, this is kind of a look into kind of what I've been kind of going through, the little, not necessarily personal, but just kind of puts it out there.
Mhm.
As a person who's currently going through fertility treatments, one of the things that I've learned throughout this process is with what I'm doing, with the medications that I am taking, there is a possibility of having multiple pregnancies, right? Multiples. They could be twins, triplets, so on and so forth. And you have the right, as a Canadian woman currently, you have the right that that if you don't want to have multiples, you can have an abortion, or they'll go through the process of eliminating one of the children. Because if you don't want that, you can do that. They'll do it obviously safely so that you're not jeopardizing both or whatever. If we had Polyev in that seat with his beliefs and what you just told me with the women's rights, that would not be accessible to me or any other woman, which is there's a huge majority of women who have to go through fertility treatments. Let that sink in. And this is
Yeah,
what women in the States are going through right now,
yeah,
depending on the state you're in. Let that sink in. I don't want to have to be forced to have twins or triplets if I don't want to. I'm not saying I'm necessarily opposed to that, but I'm just trying to break that down. I don't want to be forced into that, or my partner shouldn't have to be forced into that because our government says we can't have that. Can have that
mm,
basic, you know, health right as a woman. That's, was the concern, obviously. So that I'm happy I found this out after he lost,
mhm,
because if I found that out before he lost, that would have just added more to my stress. Um, because I can't imagine a world where we don't have those basic rights. And
y-
that's what they're going through currently.
yeah, yeah. I do. Sometimes I do agree 100%. But I think a lot of Canadians like vote for conservative because, like, there's three main reasons on why the cost of living.
Mhm.
The second thing is basically they're worried about Trump, and then affordable housing as well. Those are the three main things, and
So you're saying those are three main things why people
yeah,
would have
those
to
are yeah, those
vote
yeah, those are
conservative or not?
those are the three main things that reason why people are voting the conservatives. And
Okay.
because the liberals have been in office for like the last, like 10 years or whatever,
Mhm.
etc., people don't see the liberals, or the conservatives, people who support the conservatives don't see the liberals changing that anytime soon, right? So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, again, like,
so
yeah, that's fair. Again, though, I think if, like I said, it's not about the party.
mhm.
Okay. I don't have an issue with the party.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
don't particularly like Stephen Harper, but that's neither here nor there. Um, it's not about the party for me. It's about the person
The person,
who
yeah,
is the leader of that party.
and I think it damaged up here a lot because, like, and earlier on, like last year, supporting, like, Trump, and then going back this year, and then Trump was talking about Canada for sale, etc., all that stuff, this
Mhm.
and that, and then he just flip flop back to to Canada. We are Canadians, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and Canada's not for sale, and we stand by Canada, etc. So, like, it went from, that's the reason why he also lost his seat, by the way, near the Ottawa area to I believe to Liberal.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw
So
that
yeah,
he lost his
so
seat.
that's probably why, one of the reasons why, that they don't see that Pierre is a strong um person for prime minister.
Mhm.
because they believe that probably it is flip-flopping and he's not like very experienced into politics that much. His background is not very experienced
Mhm.
versus what you see with Mark Carney. I
Mhm.
understand that people say that Mark Carney's not experienced in politics, um,
Yeah,
because he's a banker and other
but he's been
around.
yeah, and that's the thing, like, even, like here's the thing, here's the thing. Obviously, Harper is going to, support Polyev, right?
Mhm,
But here's the thing that Harper says in his little thing, his I mean, we all saw the commercials or heard the commercials.
mhm,
Um, he says, "Both of these men have worked for me." Clearly talking about Carney and Polyev. But you're not saying that Carney's bad. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And, obviously, you're as a person who is a part of Conservative Party, it is obvious that you're going to back the person who is in your party.
mhm,
But it's just it was interesting to kinda hear that because it's like, okay, yeah, he may not be experienced in politics, but he's
mhm,
been exposed to politics for years. And, let's not forget Harper was, over over a decade ago. Um, and he was in office for as prime minister for a long time as well.
mhm,
So, just saying. At the end of the day, I don't I care about obviously you having experience in politics, but
mhm,
I
mhm,
think this particular election wasn't a bad experience. This particular election was where do you stand on really truly, where do you stand on Trump?
mhm. Yeah,
I think
that
that's
that's the and that sucks because like there's more
it does.
issues goes goes around in Canada. There's a lot more issues. Like I said, reduce cost of living, making housing more affordable, growing the economy, improving healthcare in the system. That's like
Yeah.
been a constant thing,
Yeah.
that we talked about on this podcast as well.
Yeah.
Um, Education, you can even say indigenous people as well, investing more into them.
Mhm.
And climate change. Obviously, that's one of the things he's been talking about. Mark Carney's been talking about climate change and every single thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
obviously there are other issues that obviously need to be addressed, but when the loudest issue currently is Trump, that's the thing
it's
that's the thing that's going to be the most important. For me, all of that matters as well, but for me, the thing that was screaming the loudest to me right now was Trump. It's unfortunate that we couldn't have had this drama of Trump kinda die down a little bit
mhm,
if we had election when it was supposed to happen in October. Maybe it coulda died down a little bit and it would not be in the forefront, but when we had, Trump coming into to office, Trudeau leaving office, and everything that's happened since, it's all on top of each other, which is why Trump is the loudest issue for Canadians currently.
and yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. And and like I said, that's a problem. I think it would have been different if this was like Trumpless. I think it would have. I think the NDP would have more votes or more seats as well,
Mhm.
and I think the Conservatives would.
I don't know, conservatives, I don't think maybe they would've,
Yeah,
maybe, but
yeah,
that wouldn't have changed for me.
yeah.
I I pretty much said before all of the drama with Trump that
Hmm.
I don't trust Poilievre. I don't want him to be prime
Yeah.
minister. So
Oh,
that necessarily would not have changed my views anyways, or
yeah.
anyone
I
else's
know. I
views
know. But
potentially.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But there's other people who support him here, and they just want change in general. So like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if it's conservative, the NDP, and we're gonna say the Green Party as well. Um,
yeah, we'll
so
throw them in there.
yeah. So
We'll throw them in the
what
mix.
do you what do you think about like what's gonna happen with Jeremy saying he resigned? Do you think um what type of leader that the NDP needs to come for the next election in the future, and
They
grow
need
it.
a Jack Layton.
Mm,
And that's not even so much about the race, that just generally, I think, and not doesn't matter about gender, race,
mm,
none of that, because we've had Andrea or have was or whatever her name is was in there as well,
mm,
before Jack Meat. But we need a Jack Layton. That's what we
mm,
need. Jack Layton. w- We could talk about him on this podcast, actually, to be totally honest. Jack
mm,
Layton was an incredible person.
mm,
He actually cared about this country. Um, Obviously, he was never a prime minister. He got damn near close, though.
yeah, close.
Um,
Yeah.
and it is unfortunate that he, you know, passed away, when he did, but I think that's what they need,
Mm,
because Jack Layton, well, we're talking, this is what, well, I don't remember when he passed away now, 15 years ago, if not more. He's still felt by
mm,
Canadians.
mm.
That's what they need. They need a Jack Layton. That's what the country needs. We need a Jack Layton. That's
Right.
what we need.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think they need to rebuild. Obviously, like, it was disappointing for them.
Mhm.
Like, they have like, 10 seats in, or is it 7 to 10, I believe.
I
In
think when I saw here, let me see what I saw. I think it was 10.
Okay.
I think you're
So
right.
10 seats compared to 2021's, it was probably over, I think it was over 20, I believe. Let me just do my research on that.
So yeah, so NDP was currently projected so this is kind of before they confirmed Carney, projected to win 10 seats and could fall short of the 12 needed to qualify for official party status in the House of Commons. So if they got 10, that's not good. That's
Yes.
not good at all. Green Party won 2 seats, so there's that.
25. NDP had 25.
25
Yeah.
at the end. Okay, so they're good then
Yeah. Yeah. So, and
in terms of that, anyways.
yeah, I think a lot of the criticism where it's like he worked with like Justin Trudeau, and I don't think a lot of Canadians agreed with that.
Mhm.
Um, well, I thought it was okay. We need to work together as Canadians.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it in a way. So like, but I'm guessing like a lot of people just like just don't like Justin Trudeau at all, and they're just asking Jeremy said, why would he work with someone like that? And I was like, you know, he did enforce some policies to go through during this during the Justin Trudeau term. So like yeah. Um
Yeah, but that's not unusual.
yeah.
I think we
So
have to remember how this works. It's not
mhm.
unusual. You're gonna have party leaders working together because that's what they do. Like,
Yes.
has no one seen what happens in the House of Commons? It's not
Mhm.
just one party in there, it's all of them.
Mhm.
So like, what?
That's what I'm saying. I was
Work
like,
together.
yeah, dude, don't we
That's
like it when Canadians work together? I don't.
that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Like, you can listen, even with Trump, okay? There could be amazing, great people working with that Oompa Loompa. That's not gonna make me that's what they you have to do. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's how this works.
Mm,
I'm not going to I'm gonna have questions, but I'm gonna give you a chance. You know what I mean? Trudeau, yeah, he wasn't maybe doing the best of jobs. He wasn't necessarily liked. There were scandals with him and whatever. I get
mhm,
that. But he's he's gonna work with people in other parties.
mhm,
Those people potentially could run for prime minister. Like, again, I don't like Harper. I think he was an ass,
Mm,
but he worked with Carney and Polyev.
mm,
I don't have issue with Polyev because he worked for Harper. I have issue with Polyev because of his views.
mm,
And then Carney, whatever. I don't have an
mm.
issue with you working with Harper because that's to be expected. Like, I don't
And
know,
and
maybe I just come
yeah,
from a world because I work in law.
yeah. I
It is a
believe
small area of business.
yeah,
Y'all gonna work together at some point.
yeah, yeah. I believe in the past that the conservatives did work with the Bloc Party as well.
Mm-hmm.
The last one in Quebec. Uh,
Quebecois.
yeah, yeah, the club, yeah, the club,
Quebecois.
yeah, Quebecois, something
Quebecois.
like that. Yeah, the Quebecois.
Yeah.
Um, and
Suzanne Polyev did.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and people, I see people still,
I honestly thought he was a part of that party, to be honest with you.
yeah,
I think the last name threw me. I'm like,
yeah,
so
yeah,
he's
yeah. The last
not
is it you,
the
Yvonne
Quebecois.
Yvonne Franco? I think that's what it's his name is. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
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 the
yeah.
Quebec party. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I do see people saying that Pierre should work with the the block, right? So
So we never
like
have to see him again, kind of thing.
I mean, because the reason why because he they have like over 20 seats, and then the conservatives have like around I would say they have like 150 140 seats right now, I believe. Uh,
Who does?
conservative.
Oh, they're close.
Yes,
They're
yes,
close.
yes. So
Okay.
like they would have majority,
Hmm.
I would say, and so like you know, take over and have a little bit more power over the liberals, I would say. So, but um, but yeah. So
Yeah.
where do we go? Where do we go from here? Like as Canadians, I know like Mark Carney has like major plans for Canada. What do you think what's going to happen? Like, do you think cost of living is going to get lower, or housing is going to be more affordable? I know Mark Carney's planning to just build more houses in Canada. Want to do that. Um,
Where
and
all I can think about is like where I currently live, and I'm like, well, where are we putting more houses? Um, but I'm sure there's places that, yeah. But I mean, to answer your question, I guess you hope for cost of living to go down, income to go up. You hope for all of that, right? Groceries, prices to go down and all that. But here's the thing. Here's where I have hesitancy. Depending on what happens with the tariffs, that is going to determine where Canada is headed. Um, because if those tariffs don't go away or whatever, go back to go back to factory reset or something, we're potentially heading into a recession. And if we're heading into a recession, um, yeah, like I don't know what that's gonna look like in terms of things. It's gonna be tough for people, right? I mean, look how long it took for us to get out of the last recession. Like, I don't think we started to feel ourselves come out of that until, you know,
mm,
mid 2010s. Or, so I
mm,
don't
I
I don't know.
don't know
That's a
either.
part for me.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I don't know either. I don't know what's going to happen. Uh, like I'll be aware of this more closely, of seeing how he approaches these problems in Canada. So yeah, um, we hope that it improves. I'm not saying that like everything is going to be perfect under his leadership
Nothing's
as
ever
prime minister.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah, no. But
Perfection
people,
does not exist.
yeah, well, people are ready. Like the conservative supporters, the NDP supporters are ready to just like attack him You're going to see more Mark Carney flags in the probably next like couple years now,
Yeah.
compared to
Yeah.
Trudeau. Uh, but um, yeah, I just hope um good things happen in the future for us Canadians. And well, another note, going back to the conservatives, like there was issues with like the conservative. I saw a video earlier on what happened. Yeah, I saw a 3 minute clip of something I saw this morning, and I saw like a conservative from the Oshawa uh region talk about how Doug Ford sabotaged the conservatives. And
What?
because he didn't really what to call support Peter in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. He's more
Yeah, he
towards
shouldn't have.
yeah, he was more towards, cool with like Mark Carney and Chrisland Freeland. And it felt like, that he sabotaged it. So I don't know, like about that because like there's there's like a plot that that I feel like Balfour wants to be conservative leader in the near future or be prime minister in the near future. That
Oh,
might be a
100%.
yeah, that might be something that he wants in the near future. That's why he probably didn't support P- Pierre at all, or what's the endorse Pierre at all. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's that's something to look at in the near future. Like, I don't know if Duckworth is going to be reelected for premier in the future. Perhaps this puts a dent in his support from people who supported the Conservative Party. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm just
yeah,
trying to see
yeah,
who won in each. I can't really figure out where to find like who kind of because obviously we live in Durham region, so I was just trying to see like who won in Durham.
I
But
I saw like a little bit of like stuff on.
okay,
Well,
here we go. I
yeah,
think I found it.
yeah.
I think I found it. Hold on. It doesn't say like who's what though. Doesn't help me. Okay, hold on. Sorry, keep going. Oh no. Okay, yeah. It doesn't say who is like in which town or city, but it
Yeah.
does say Durham. So um let's see. So in Durham there was over 53,000 votes reported. So that's great, guys. Um so Todd McCarthy, who is conservative, won 50.5% of the votes.
Mm,
Um, Brad Jacobson, who is a liberal, won 29.4% of the votes. Chris Borgia, he's NDP. He won 14.3% of the votes. Sanjan Zico, Green Party, 2.4% of the votes.
in
Um,
what area?
it doesn't say which area, it just says Durham.
Durham. Okay, so
Yeah,
I just said
they put this Durham on whole, right? Um, James Levin, whatever. I'm sorry, I
11.
butchered your name. It says NBP. I don't know what that stands for. Um,
Probably mistaken. DP.
no, because NDP is above, so it's not NDP. It's
Oh,
NBP.
NBP. Okay.
Yeah. They have 1.2% of the votes, but the
Oh,
amounts,
different.
yeah, the amounts, yeah, it's a different party. The amounts of the votes that this person had was the devil's number, was 666. That says something.
Mm.
Uh, Asif Khan, who is CPO, is that the People's Party?
PPC.
PPC. Well, PPC is not even on here, first of all.
We must not have a lot of candidates then.
No. Well, this person, anyways, for CPO got 1.2%.
Mhm.
Sherry Thurston, who is ONP, don't know again, maybe that's Ontario Party, I don't know. 0.8% of the votes. And then Bahad Kiani, who is an independent one, 0.2. So,
Mm.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I got. That's all I got for that. I can't find much else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully we're in good hands right now. So like that's one thing that I hope for, that we're in good hands and for us Canadians.
Yeah.
So um
I did find I'll find out who's for Pickering, but Toronto councillor for last Toronto councillor. Well, Toronto councillor for you guys was Jennifer McCleavey, went for the Liberals.
mm,
Let's see what Ajax did. Well, I'm on Toronto Star. It's not going to come up for me. Ugh, okay, hold on. Let me figure out. Not on Toronto Star because, yeah. That's weird. It said that she was Toronto, but Jennifer McCleavey is Ajax, and she is liberal. And I think that's you were liberal before as well, with Mark
mm,
Holland. So we're remaining red guys here in Ajax.
mm.
And for Pickering, give me a second while I look.
Still live, by the way.
Hmm?
On the Toronto Star.
What?
Still live. Still
Yeah.
going live. Mm,
Okay, so it says New Pickering Brooklyn writing is red with I think it's Juanita Nathan as the new MP. So you're also red.
we're also red too.
Yep.
So
Hold
I
on.
voted. Yeah. Oh, they're still going. We're still going 168. Oh wow. Liberals are at 168 right now, but it could
Oh,
have been. So,
they're still
yeah,
counting?
yeah, still doing it. There's like four votes of what? Like, I think four. What's 172 for the majority, and then they're at 168 right now.
Well, they're close. If this counting is still happening, then yeah, it's not done yet. But I mean, clearly he's won at this point, but
Yeah,
it's not over yet. It could
yeah, but yeah,
interesting.
that's all I have
Yeah,
for
that's all I have.
today's episode. So this ends this special episode of the election 2025 of the Next Take podcast. The Next Take podcast is available on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called Tanyka,
Next take podcast.podpage.io,
and where else are we at?
Facebook and Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod.
You can contact us at our email at mikeltanika@gmail.com. That is mikeltanika@gmail.com. Yeah, so basically we just talked about uh, the election, um, 2025 for Canada. It was pretty, pretty, uh, what's the word I'm missing today? Pretty interesting, I would
We're
say.
gonna
Interesting.
say. Okay. Yeah, no,
Interesting.
it was
Yeah,
interesting. It was,
yeah.
I'm happy it's over because my
Mm,
anxieties can, the election anxieties anyways can go away.
mhm,
My other anxieties are still there.
yeah. Okay. Um, so anything else you want to say? I'm I can't say anything. I don't know what to say.
No, I mean,
No?
I'm aiming to hopefully get this edited so it
Hmm.
can be released tonight at the latest. 'Cause I know you have work. But if it
Okay.
does come out tomorrow we got our Netflix episode.
All
So
right.
that's it.
Cool. All right. Peace, guys. I'm
Bye.
Mikel,
Oh,
and
yeah, and I'm Tanika.
peace. All right.
Okay, bye.
See you soon.